Hey guys, alright? It's your boy Cad's Crew. As you guys know, I'm a music main-based reactor. A main-based reactor? No, I'm a music reactor, or just a general reactor, whatever you want to call it. But I'm also a huge United supporter, so um, I've also been using this channel like recently as making small entries into the football community on YouTube. And Liverpool have just matched us with 20 league titles. Um, now I've got to look at all the posts saying about being a bigger club than us, and success-wise, probably with the Champions Leagues, but the six Champions Leagues. But can I just say that I've seen people in the comment sections on Sky Sports and all the pages talking about that they've won trebles too, and I just can't seem to get my head around what the hell you are talking about, because we were the first to do the first ever treble, the FA Cup, the Champions League, and the Premier League. Now, look, I'm not discrediting Liverpool winning 20 titles. It's great, okay? But it did take 82 points to win the league. Yes, we are sat in 13th. Yes, we've switched managers during the season, and it's been a bit of a ruckus, all right? It's been a bit of a ruckus. But let's not forget that we all said that we needed to change. We needed time to change. And I've already been seeing, as you guys know, probably, rumours around Cherki, Osherman, Gyökeres probably going to Arsenal, but the Kuna deal and Delap being our two top targets. Now, the fact that Ineos, despite all their recent flaws of sacking people and everything else along those lines, the fact that we're getting Kuna, that looks like that's a done deal. I'm not going to hold my breath until I see him in the shirt. Every year I get my hopes up with this club, but the fact that we're looking at someone like Kuna early doors, I know there's a lot of opinions about him walking around a lot and, being another Rashford, as some fans will say. But I do believe that kind of urgency is what we would need. And to see that seems really positive. And it's been a while since we've got a signing that wasn't somebody from a different league. And we actually already know is Premier League proven. My thoughts on Delap. I think I don't feel as optimistic with Delap as possibly an Osherman or a Gyökeres, but I do also feel I feel a bit more confident than with Højlund, because as you know, Delap's I think's got 14 goals. I think, is it 12, 14 goals this season? Under, it might even be 10 goals, but on a struggling Ipswich side. Now, I do believe if you've seen Gyökeres with Ruben Amorim, and he was just a championship striker and now is one of the most sought after strikers in football, that there is that potential again. But I think a lot of us have kind of had enough of potential. But again, I also feel like if you've got Delap, some good tens, I feel like Delap can kind of create his own chances. And I'm not as worried, but I wouldn't mind Delap. But obviously, I think the state that we're in the pressure, we also want that sort of comfort of a Premier League top, striker with experience. But anyway, yeah. So look, I've got weird optimism about next season. I'm just really intrigued to see how the Ruben Amorim system, the new signings, the pre-season, and then I've already seen that glimmer of hope. Like, we don't get spanked like we do under Ten Hag. Like we a lot of the times we're losing, unless it's like a Newcastle freak result or something like that, where they're too physical for us, too fast up front, which obviously we've got a lot to learn in certain aspects. But I do believe we'll finish. I mean, I've said top 6 next season. I'm probably optimistic for top 4. But yeah, I mean, I'm in a conflict of people saying the league is good this year. I feel like I'm not entirely sure. I feel like the spaces between obviously 4th place and 7th place, kind of, yeah. But I mean, I don't think the league is as good. I think everyone's doing worse, because I think that the tier of teams up front, the gap's not as big between the rest of the season. But maybe that's just my sort of outlook on it. I think Bournemouth and stuff were doing well in teams and winning, so I don't know, maybe. But personally, I think next season's going to be different. I think I'm not entirely sure that all these top teams that were in the top 5 race are going to be there next season. I don't know. I've just got a different kind of. I've got a weird optimism, but I'm a United fan, so maybe I'm delusional. But I'll be interested to hear you guys' thoughts anyway. And I was thinking of maybe doing and incorporating football content into this channel, maybe reacting to some of the news that comes out, maybe because as a reaction channel, I'm not here to switch switch profile, if that makes sense. But I guess as a football fan, I feel like, and a United fan, and with a channel that I've grown, I think it would be good to sort of react to, I mean, you saw what Paul Scholes said in the news, in the press, whatever it was on the fucking telly the other day. Paul Scholes said that I think he's a good, Kuno is a good player, but I worry about any player coming to United. I mean, why are you saying that? Why are you saying that, bro? You're supposed to be on our side. Just you don't want to scare these players away. Yes, I understand what he's saying is kind of right, but don't say it out loud, because we don't want to scare anyone, because we're not going to get better if we don't get good players in, right? So that was kind of baffling to me. But and I could have had a good opinion and made a video on that. So I'm starting to see things like that, and with the channel I've got, I'm starting to think, well, I've got some things to say as a fan, and maybe people agree with me, maybe they don't. But isn't that what content creating is? So it's just a personal opinion. And I suppose you get popular if people agree with you, or they just like your opinion even if they don't agree with you. I don't know. But anyway, guys, I'll leave it there. But yeah, plus I got a new microphone and it's set up, so I was kind of thinking that maybe my videos looked a bit more professional, and maybe it was worth doing the football content, because I was always a bit worried like I couldn't do my videos on the laptop and stuff. So I thought maybe they didn't look as good. But now I feel like we've got some better setup and a better backdrop. Maybe people might want to watch for longer. Anyway, but yeah, as you know, we are drawing on 20 league titles with Liverpool. Well, they're drawing with us, actually. We got there first. But let's get it real. It's 13 Premier Leagues and 2 Premier Leagues. It's not quite the same, but anyway. Anyway, as your delusional United fan, I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.